evening. I'm Dr. Julia Royston of BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, and the coaching community, the Book Business Bosses, where I help you get your message to the masses, turn your words into wealth, and be a book business boss. Well, we are celebrating Black Child Book Week, and I am super excited to be a part of that. It was established and petitioned for this to be Black Child Book Week. And I was super excited when I saw the invitation. It was primarily on Instagram, also on Facebook. And so it gave an opportunity for authors of African American children's books to really be spotlighted. It is scheduled to happen the last Sunday in February moving forward. So it will start the last Sunday in February moving forward to the first week of March. So I am super excited to be a part of the inaugural event. Here's the website. It is sponsored by blackbabybooks.com. So look there, get the information. Hopefully, I mean, there's all kinds of ways if you just want to donate because it's a nonprofit. So if you want to make a donation so that Black children's books can be donated to underserved and underrepresented communities. If you were a part of the event, people were able to find out who you are because so many times that we find people say, "I don't know any Black children's book authors. I really don't know any," and you may not know any, but there's plenty of us out here. So therefore, it was an opportunity for us to get marketing and promotions as well as promote a phenomenal happening across the U.S. And you can get right there at that website, you can get the history of how it became and how it came to be. There's a video right there on that website. And you can find out how they petitioned to have Black Child Book Week. So it's been a phenomenal experience. They have a website dedicated to it. There's a video that gives the history. Is the committee that was a part of it. So we have been spotlighting children's book authors all week. We started off with Monday and Tuesday, and now we're on to Wednesday. And I am super excited to have as my guest today is pastor, minister, author, speaker, preacher. Wait a minute. I don't want to forget the latest
holistic
position,
health coach.
Holistic health coach. Oh my goodness. Well, welcome. Oh, and podcaster and broadcaster and conference host. And what else? Did I leave anything out? It's a long list, but did I leave anything? I don't think I left anything out. So welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you, love?
I'm doing good. I
Good,
can't
good, good.
complain at
I
all.
understand. I understand. Well, you look beautiful.
Well,
So tell the people where they can find you on social media and where they can find your website.
you can find my website at Sister Girl, SUSTAHGIRL, sistergirl.com. And that houses all my children's books. And it also can be found at sgenterprises.net, which are other books that I have written. But my heart and passion is in the children's books at sistergirl.com.
All right. And wait a minute, let me get the other one. SG Enterprises.
.net.
All right. So, I have to have you tell kind of the backstory of Sister Girl, how she became to be, because everybody who sees it loves it. People are drawn to it. And, just how Sister Girl became to be.
Sister Girl came to be by way of my mom, because that was her nickname, Sister Girl. She was a sister, and it was 9 of them, and she was the only girl for many years until the last sister, her only sister, entered into the picture. And as a way of really processing, my mother was my best friend, and when she left this earth, God gave us a year to get ourselves prepared for it. But the actual vehicle that took us to her getting that sick you could have never told me that that was going to happen. And so, yeah, just really, thinking about her stories that she used to tell, my own stories, because Sister Girl is kind of a blend between her stories and my stories. It almost makes me get emotional, but she
Yeah, I
came,
know. Yeah.
she birthed out of that place. And then I've always been a writer. I started writing. I don't even think that they do it anymore. What is it? Young Authors Club. So I was a part of
Mm.
that. And I wrote my first book in the fourth grade. So I've always had a love for writing. And believe it or not, Sister Girl was always there. But I called her, I think I had a name for her called the Perfect Girl or something, because she was everything that I wasn't.
Well, it's amazing because my dad had five brothers, and they did have one sister, and they just called her sister because
Yeah.
she was the only girl. And so I identify with Sister Girl and my aunt, who they're all passed away. My dad, all of his brothers, and his sister, are all gone, and
Yeah.
she was the last one to pass away. And and my father's youngest brother, he said, uh, I'm going next, and sister, we're gonna leave you here by yourself. She was like, what? You the last one? He said, sister, we're gonna leave you here by. So they only had to call her sister. They didn't have the sister girl because they didn't have another sister at all. So it was always, and sister said, and we always knew who that was. So one of the things that I often want to make sure that I point out to people everywhere, and celebrating this week, is that children, especially African American children, really, really want to see themselves. Now,
Yes.
there are not quite a few families out there that have as many brothers and sisters as Sister Girl does, but they still do enjoy seeing families. They still enjoy seeing themselves,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
the first book, Sister Girl and the Annoying Sunny Boy, is probably my favorite to date. We still got ways to go. We got book two and that's out there, and then book three to go. But
Yes.
she gets good revenge. I like her. It's not right. I didn't say it was right. I just said I didn't. I think it's not the correct way to do it, but
It is. It's not right, but it was correct. But she
it,
got
it,
some
it
revenge.
felt really good at the time. I know when she did it. So you have to read the book to know exactly what happened and read the story. So you need to go to sistergirl.com or sgenterprises.net and just order all of Pastor Sharon's books, and all of them. And Sister Girl is a series. I liken her to I always say she's in the Junie B. Jones category. She's African American Junie B. Jones. She's got emotions. She gets angry. Stuff gets on her nerves. It drives her nuts. And, she's real. She's a real little girl. She's not, all prim and proper and yes, ma'am, and perfect. She's polite.
And I think it's
She's
good.
obedient, but she's not like them little girls that may not get dirty and have a rip in her jeans or whatever. I guess rips and jeans is a fashion now. You pay a lot of
It
money for
is.
rips and jeans, but she may get in the dirt. She may go outside and play and climb a tree just as quick as a boy will, and then put a Sunday dress on and be ready for church. So it's really that's really been a journey for me. I love the story. I always am looking for the story.
Yes. Yes.
And that's one of the things people always say, oh, ignore the grammatical mistakes. I said I see them, but I don't see them, because I'm looking for, as a publisher, I'm always looking for the story. So when Sharon Hunter came to me with this story, I said, oh my gosh, because it does so many things. It introduces children to a little girl who looks like them with long braids and balls and the whole 9 yards. And then it also introduces and keeps alive your mom's story,
Absolutely.
which is
Absolutely.
always a tribute to our heritage. And it's one thing for the historically, of course, the stories were passed down audio, audibly from one person to the next. But when you have it written down with the ISBN number and in print
Yes.
and for everyone to see, and I know that you were at the Louisville Women's Expo last weekend, and then I was there Sunday, and it was really enlightening to see people's reactions to the various children's books that were there, as well as the adult books. I think they bought
Hmm.
more of my children's books than they bought anything else. So that's really, really an important aspect. And you have a granddaughter, yes?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I have. We're not at a place. She's just now learning to read and putting it all together. So with this summer, I'm gonna. She's gonna get her first gift of Sister Girl, so that we get to read it and really pick it apart. Because up until this point, there was interest, but you know how that can go with little kids. It would come and it would go. But we're at a place now where we're reading. She's enjoying it. So now we get to actually get in there. She has helped. One of the books that's in me currently is a book that it's her brainchild. I added to it. I've added, done a few little things to it, but for the most part, it came from her thoughts and her determination for a nighttime story. So we're working
Mm.
on that and looking forward to it.
There is something about being able to do that together that is really, really a wonderful thing, and being able to see it, because the young authors competitions and stories have usually either been just solely school based or maybe district based, but literally the children's books that we've been publishing lately with schools in our area, they're all over the world. I mean, they're literally
Hmm.
everywhere. They're books that people are purchasing online, and we're shipping all over the country and around the world, literally. So these young authors are, as I say, doing it a whole lot quicker. I mean, I've been in this
I
game
know,
14
right?
years, and some of them are now 14 years old and number one bestsellers. I'm like, well, look at you. Well, go
And
ahead,
that-
baby. But I encourage people that if you really want to do it, you can. If you really, because a lot of it is for four things: educational, entertainment, enlightenment, but also encouragement. Because
Absolutely.
the young child suicide rate, if you can imagine, is extremely high along these parts. Because you would think a 5 or 7 or 9 or 10 year old would not become hopeless, because you think, in the eyes of a child, it's just all,
Hmm.
ice cream and cake and all that, but it's not.
No.
We've had some horrific stories in schools. So therefore, we've had to be very conscientious of that, and just thinking that I have to encourage a child to continue to want to live and be
Yes.
hopeful about the future is really, really, really key. And the one thing about writing fictional stories, or even based on actual facts, it allows you to take you out of your imagination, take you from your everyday.
Right. I was just gonna say, as a child growing up, that was one of I got accused of being a bookworm. But the thing that I loved about a book and still love to this day is you enter into another world. And in your head, you have what you think these characters look like. You're just functioning and flowing in that whole new world. And for children, a child being a child, I remember being that child growing up, and I try to write for kids so that when they get into the world of Sister Girl, it's just that it's a world they can see her, they can enjoy, they can laugh out loud. And I'm a really I have a strong heart to help people understand, first and foremost, yes, I'm a Christian, I love the Lord, but we're human. And
Mhm.
it's in those human spaces that we learn. For you fall down, you mess up, you get up and you learn. But if you're able to turn that and help a child be able to read about it, oftentimes they might be finding that place of hopelessness because they don't have anybody to help them understand this is life, and it's
Mhm.
okay, and you're going to grow from this, and it's going to get bigger, it's going to get better. So
Yeah.
I find joy in
Yeah.
writing for them and helping them find that world.
Well, and then they want to see themselves too as well, you know.
Absolutely.
So when your granddaughter's book comes out and when, when it's being illustrated, she'll actually know intimately every piece, every part, every step of that process.
That's
But
true.
I've said this all week, and I'll really say it again. It didn't matter in the 60s that Dick and Jane and Spot, it was a white dog, and the Dick and Jane was white little children. It didn't matter because I was learning to read, and there
Yeah,
weren't just a lot of African American children's books in my school, in my area. So
absolutely.
we read and we don't care. They kids, so okay, they kids like us. They just look different. But today, that's not the same thing.
No,
That
it's not.
is not. No, today they want to see themselves. They feel like they are worth it, and they are. That
And they
someone
are.
take the time, take the effort to draw them, to illustrate them, to tell their stories from their perspective.
And that was one of, I had a lot of things that pushed me to write, but then that was the other thing too. Yes, getting through mama and processing that, but also, which was super important to me, I birthed 4 children, raised more than that. But the key was sitting down with them, encouraging them to read that book, helping them to find see yourself in that character, and know that it's important to be able to see yourself. I'm a diverse writer, so I love to write for all children. But when I started to go and look for books for my children, and it was 2 or 3, that was disheartening. I
Yeah,
want
yeah, yeah.
them to be able to understand their story. And the beauty of this thing for me is it does not redirect anybody else's story to the back burner.
No,
Your story is important, but my story is equally as important. And I
right.
want my children, whether I gave birth to them or not, to be able to see themselves and see, oh well, I'm not the only one that looks like this that has this problem. And
Exactly, exactly.
how did you figure that out?
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is that, I have to vastly confess that, and really encourage African American children's book authors in this process through this celebration this week, or if you know of somebody, or even if you have a desire to write, realize that even though you may have an African American child on the cover, Caucasian children, Spanish children, children of Asian descent, children that are of all different cultures, they just enjoy reading.
They
And if
enjoy
they're
reading.
drawn to the cover, they will do it. They will be
Yes,
drawn to the cover. And this is the book I want to read. And I want to, just like we're reading about them, they want to read about you. So they want
that's
to
so
make a
true.
connection. And I mean, and I wouldn't have known that. I would have, I confess, I'm very transparent about that. I would have said, would they really be attracted to? And no, they are, because
Hmm.
I've done the Child Book Fair tour. I've been on at other events with children's book where there's, clearly it's everybody's invited, so everybody's gonna come through the door. But there are sometimes when the Caucasian child sees the Terrence or sees, some of
Mm,
the other books and says, "Oh, I want to read that." They
yeah,
don't say, "Oh, that child's not white. I don't want to read that."
and they
And so
don't,
then I
Julia.
know your parents, your family, your life is a broader perspective than
Hmm.
just your culture. So I'm with you. I want to be able to provide a variety, and even in the African American children's books that I do, I want multicultural. I want different hues. I want some to be browner and some to be lighter, and some hair to be curly and some
Yeah.
kinky, and some to be straight, and some might have to be red, and some might have, because I've seen biracial babies look all different kinds of shapes and sizes and colors,
Oh
which
yeah,
is
and
a
then they don't even have to be
beautiful thing.
biracial.
Exactly,
They can be
exactly.
red
So
and
they want to see themselves too, just like everybody else. So, it's a great opportunity. It's a awesome opportunity. So I gotta ask. So besides your grandbaby's book, and we got book number 3, what else you writing?
well, the I am working on my first, and you correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it a novella when it's like short?
How short? Like 20,000 words?
Yeah, somewhere around
Okay,
there.
yeah, that's a novella.
So
20 to
I'm working on
25,000
that,
words.
and
Yeah.
and then and of course helping my granddaughter and myself. We're gonna co-write this thing together and get it finished, and
Yay! That's gonna
as
be
well as
exciting.
a sister girl. And then being a holistic health coach, I know it's there. It's just a matter of when.
Oh yeah,
It'll
yeah. No,
come.
you have to have that.
Yeah, it'll come.
I
But I
will
don't.
tell you this, as I say, as the book business boss, and not just the children's book business boss. Every business, every aspect of yourself, you need to have a book as a part of that, or an
Yeah.
ebook, or a handout, or some product that
See,
needs
that's
to.
why I like you.
I know. I mean, somebody else said, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you." Ooh, that's why I'm here. That's my purpose.
It's your purpose.
That's a part of my that's a part of my goal, is to make sure that the gifted have what they need to prosper. And it's not a secret. I don't hide it. But because I see things in other people so easily, I'm like, well, have you thought about, I'll do yours, and I don't even like being around you. I was like, well, don't come around me, because I'm gonna tell you the truth. Don't come around me, because I'm gonna tell you something exciting. And people are like, you just give away $1 million ideas. Boo, there are 9 billion people on the planet. We can
Yeah,
do the same thing, and there's still enough for everybody to do.
it
There's
really
still enough
is.
to go around. There's still there are people who will never be coached by me, who will be coached by Sharon Hunter and all the other thousands of coaches in the world,
Yeah,
and will be fine, and they'll be fine too.
that's true.
So but I really, really, really encourage people to make sure that if their business, or if they're offering a service, that they have some type of product. Now, if you need help with that, you know how to reach out to me
Oh, absolutely.
and have a conversation, talk with Royston.com. So I am super excited about all that you're writing. It's about I guess, what did we meet up about 8 years ago,
Oh
7, 8
yeah.
years ago, about 8 years ago now, in Cunningham's. Now, if you're from Louisville, Kentucky, you would know Cunningham's had great fish sandwiches,
Great
and
fish sandwiches.
we ate over a fish sandwich and thought about the first book, and we're probably about 5, 6 books later, and here we are.
And here we are. And and
Here
and
we
and I
are,
have to
making
add
this.
this. It was all off of a post.
Yeah.
She posted, anybody interested in writing, and I want to say it was specific children's books, or no, it was books. And then I said, well, what about children's books? And I think you
Yeah.
said,
I
I
think
don't
yours
know,
is
I
like
hadn't
one of
really.
the first ones I ever did.
Yeah, yeah,
I even before my own. I think I published yours first, even before my own,
absolutely. Yep.
because I'm like, ooh, because that was a process. But hey, Ramonica, how are you? Hey, Miss Carla, how are you, love? Welcome, welcome. So yeah, the Sharon Hunter's was like the first children's book I even ever endeavored in any way, shape, or form. So thank you for allowing me to practice
Oh, it,
and learn and get it
it was,
together.
and it was not only a super experience. I've even though I have other ideas for the series, the two that I have completed and the third one that has been done, I really trust you. And I encourage people, to go to BK Royston, because when you find someone, first of all, people got to show themselves trustworthy. And in that 8 years of relationship, I truly count you as a sister and a friend, because you've never steered me wrong. And in addition to that, even had a chuckle or two after different business ventures that I've had. And you'd be like, that's all you charging, girl.
Well, no, I let people start where they start.
Start where
Monica,
you
if you
start.
still on, I let you start where you start. But the thing about it is that I'm all about making sure that I help create and help encourage people around me to be all what they're designed to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's, I'm grateful for that, because I could just be in emotional and mental torment if I didn't, because I really want everybody to win. I really do.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
honestly do. And just like I told her, oh, do you have a book associated? Oh, well, she'll be having a book about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's going to have a service about that. Oh, and that fee is going to go up too. And and they were like, okay, I've got several people like that. Don't start. Let's just Can we just eat these, as they say, fish and chips and go on?
And keep going.
No, because I see more for you. I see more for you than you might not see it yourself. So I love it. I mean, I'm here, in this COVID, in this whatever COVID space we're in right now, baby. I came out the house the other day and the neighbor said, I said, how you doing today? He said, well, I woke up. I said, you know what? That's a word right there.
Hey, that's half the battle.
He said, I woke up. I said, oh, well, come on through. We're going to make it another day. We're alive. We're above ground. So it's an opportunity, I think, that we all have. And I'm super excited for the opportunities that these children's books are doing, knowing that long after we're gone, Sharon, your grandbaby will be able to talk about, my grandmother wrote this book, and still be able to do royalties and sell the book long after you're gone, because it's a part of your intellectual property. It's a part of your inheritance. It's a part of your legacy and what you're leaving for the next generation. So it's an awesome time for authors, period. It's an awesome time for people in business, period.
Yes.
For if you've thought about it, and life is so short right now, that him hawing all around and going back and forth, and I don't know. Well, boo, just jump, just leave,
do it,
just go for it. So
absolutely.
I gotta ask you. I know we're talking about children's books, but while we're here, we talk about business. So tell me about the holistic health coaching. What is that about?
For me, I tend to be, I feel like a more organic person, and things birth out of a space, out of a need, out of a issue. And I was diagnosed with diabetes, about close to 11 years ago now. And the thing that I did not have is what God allowed me to become. I just didn't have anybody to hold my hand and say, this is what is going on in your body. These are the things that you need to eat. These are the things you need to stay away from. And even though I was seeing an endocrinologist, the thing that people fail to understand about your doctor is your doctor has completed their portion when they do your CBC and you get your blood work back, and they get you your diagnosis, and they tell you this is what's happening. They may even come up with a plan of action to get you whatever meds that you need, but in an effort to help you look at maybe lifestyle changes that are going to get you away from that diagnosis, or help you to really evaluate, decisions that you're making, whether it be mind, body, and soul, because holistic, I'm looking at the whole person. And I didn't have that. And so I spent a lot of trial and error, more error, with the whole diabetes thing. And so my niche with the holistic health coaching, I can health coach anybody, but my niche is helping people that maybe take some of the confusion out of what they're dealing with. And you don't have to see it as a death sentence. There's a lot of that you can do to help your situation. And sometimes what I'm finding is, people don't really realize the things that they eat that render down to sugar.
Right.
And you're saying, I want to lose weight, but then I get your health history, and I see a combined effort of everything that you're eating 3 and sometimes 4 and 5 times a day that is just sugar.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't know it. So it's part education, which I love, but then I love it when a person, whether they're reading my book, listening to a sermon, hearing me sing, doing whatever it is that God lets me do on his earth.
Wait a minute, that was the last thing I forgot. Singer, that's right.
Yeah.
On stage and on everywhere. On Broadway, off Broadway, on Broadway.
But just helping people to get that light when that light comes on. I really love that.
And then accountability and advocacy too.
Yes.
Because I think a lot of times it's the accountability. I mean, I do it with writing. I put you on my calendar and say, all right, in 30 days I'm gonna check on you. Oh, in 90 days I'm gonna check on you. Oh, in 6 weeks I'm gonna check on you. 2 weeks I'm gonna text you and hit you up. So it does make a difference. And so wait a minute, we can find how to schedule time with you, SG Enterprises. .net, yes.
Yes, and you can find time. What would be a better site? And I'm still working on getting the root one together. That's a project that's up and coming. But HW Wellness Hunter. So it's Healthy Wealthy Wellness Hunter, but HWWellnessHunter.com. And you'll be able to find me at the website, and you're able to schedule there. You can also find me on Facebook at Healthy Wealthy Wellness Hunter, and it's an open group, so you can join it. And I typically post once or twice a week, things that encourage people, and it always gives you an opportunity to reach out to me that way as well.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I mean, yeah, as I say, we want to have all our gifts in operation, children's
Yes.
books and speaking and singing and preaching and health coaching, and because I do know that you are available for speaking, whether you're preaching in a ministry setting or motivational speaking in an inspirational setting. I have had
Absolutely.
Sharon Hunter come to my school when I was still teaching. Woo, that was a group. That was a group. That was something. She stayed with me all day, and she was still, able to think and walk and talk clearly when she walked out of there. That was a rough. That was. Ooh, that's a rough crowd.
It was.
It
That was
was,
some
but they
books.
enjoyed it. They loved it. I mean, they were inspired by it all. So, I was like, "Come on in. Yep, we're gonna make it happen." So, thank you for being my guest this evening.
Thank you.
I appreciate all of your help and assistance and encouragement and referrals and all that good stuff. Being boots on the ground and eyes everywhere, and so I really appreciate it. And two more things before we go.
Mhm.
I'm having a free training. If you're interested in writing your book, go to creategreatkidsbooks.com. And that's a free training on March 17th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then if you're interested in writing a book, period. Well, before that, I have a self-study course that's already available. If you're like, no, I want to meet with you, Julia, I want you to, well, that's fine. But if you're saying, I just want to be able to do the course myself, go to Julia Royston's store. And it is the Create Great Books self-study course. You can get that and purchase that there as well. And if you're like, I'm ready to write my own book, maybe not a children's book, but another book of all kinds of genres, we're going to start a 5-week boot camp. I had a 10-week course, but I'm combining them, and it's a little intensive. So we only gonna meet 5 weeks. So jump on in. We
Okay.
start April 19th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to bkroystonpublishing.com, click on classes, and register for that class that starts on April 19th. Because 10 weeks, some people like, well, that's long. Do you have anything shorter? So I'm like, okay. I got online self-study. I got the books. I'm content creation, and I'm resourcing my content. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a boot camp for 5 weeks. Can you hang in there 5 weeks? All right, let's do it. So I'm super excited about that, and offering those 2 courses. Be sure and share and like, and then support these authors. Be sure and support Pastor Sharon Hunter, sistergirl.com, sgenterprises.net, and hwwellnesshunter.com. So I'm super excited about all that God is doing and expanding your territory and enlarging your territory. Super excited for you.
Thank you,
I love
sister.
you, my sister. I appreciate you and all that you're doing. You all be blessed. Have an awesome night. Have a great rest of the week. Be blessed. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.